Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for popping by here. And yes, today is a very exciting day as I will be starting a new series. And this series I've been thinking about for a good few months and kind of preparing ideas. But I had to do my own self-growth to get to this point, and it was fascinating. Yesterday I just felt like, aha, I finally did it. It's finally time to begin. And so here we are, starting this new series. And the series I'm calling 3D False Matrix Programs. And it really is a series on limited beliefs. So if you've heard that term, I remember when I was starting to learn about consciousness and all these things, hearing about these programs and limited beliefs, I didn't really know what this all was. So it's my intention with this program or with this series to outline all these limited beliefs for you so you are aware of them, and really give you the choice, because I don't know the best way. I don't know the best way for you. And to be honest, I've realized I don't even know the best way for me. I don't know the way, because there's always a better way. There's always a better way. And I love that. And I'm just going with the flow. And I know that as long as I'm tuned in to my guidance and my higher self and all that, that I'll just know what to do next, and it will unfold beautifully. So yeah, I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I don't know the way. I don't know your way, but I'm going to be trusting in this process, and I'm excited to have you here along with me. And the main thing about this program, so it's about overcoming these limited beliefs. Number one, making you aware of the limited belief, because I feel a lot of these programs, people don't even realize they're programs. At least I didn't. And when I've mentioned them to different people, they kind of look at me kind of with a dazed and confused kind of look. No judgment ever, but it's just, we just have taken these things to be fact, and we believe them. So that's of course why they're these limited beliefs. You can also think of them as fear-based beliefs. And the whole thing about this program is not to say I know the way or I'm right or anything like that. It's to help you remember who you are. And who you are is love. Who you are is source. These are just very foundational, universal truths that we've created this game called Earth, and we wouldn't be able to experience what we've experienced if we knew these truths at that time, if that makes sense. So, for example, you can't experience lack if you know that you're infinitely abundant, for example. And you would say, well, why would you want to even experience lack? But when you really start to think about it, it's like, wow, you can have so many different experiences that help you grow, and then you can share with others and help them. And it's just, yeah, you realize the perfection in the whole system. So that was the other thing I wanted to say, is that there's no rush or there's no pressure. And if you want to live in lack and these different things, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about that. It's just a different path, and all paths lead home. So yeah, I don't know the way, but I'm going to share what I do know, and these truths that are truths for me. And I encourage you to find your own truths, find your own way. And the whole catalyst for me to begin this program was these series of revelations, which I'm going to share in this first video. And that was that it was a few years ago that I had an experience where I really realized in my own mind there was only two emotions, fear and love. And I didn't know about that great Einstein quote or different people saying that. It was like a conclusion I made, curled up in bed, crying and having like a really, well, it was a real breakthrough, but at the time it was very painful. But I'm so thankful for that. But that was when I kind of realized there's really two main emotions, fear and love. Then I realized there's kind of two main operating systems for human beings, fear and love. And the more I learn, the more I watch different people, and there's so many amazing speakers on this. So I encourage you to listen to whoever resonates with you. Just kind of go toward who you feel guided to listen to, and really to who makes you feel good and who you resonate with. And these people help me so much. I began to really understand this concept. But it wasn't until the total solar eclipse, actually, that it all came together in the most beautiful way. And what happened was I realized that for one to even have fear, something must be in the mind that has fear, something must be guilty of causing that fear. So that could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be, blaming money for something, or blaming a place, or being fearful of an animal, or literally anything in the creation that one fears. They have said that thing is guilty of the fear. Keep in mind, this is all in the mind. So to have fear, something must be guilty of the fear. And if something is guilty of the fear, that would make the viewer of that the victim. Because if one is guilty, that makes the other one the victim. And it was like, boom, it all made sense. I've been going through A Course in Miracles this last year and a half. I'm not completely done, but like that all just, boom, it just made sense on this profound level that if we realize that all are innocent, everything is us, everything is love, everything is innocent, all of a sudden nothing is guilty. And if nothing is guilty, we're no longer the victim. And if we're no longer a victim, poof, fear disappears. And you realize fear, it's just an illusion. It's just something created in the mind. And so it's like, wow, that was all just nothing. And a little analogy that's just coming to me to share right now is that I go for my workout in the morning, and I've been driving the same road for many years now, like a few years. And I drive through an area of town where there's lots of different homeless people. And I've learned, of course, that they are me, that they are love, and that I love them, and I see them as source energy. I see them as all-powerful beings that have infinite abundance within them. But there was still this little anxiety. I had different experiences in the past, and for years, driving to my workout, as I would be passing these areas in the car, I would make it kind of this game for me to see if I would be confident enough and strong enough to leave all the doors unlocked. Because of course with fear you have catastrophic thinking, and I would have these thoughts of people running, opening the door and stealing my stuff and kicking me out and taking my car, and you know, the mind goes to all these wild places. But I kind of made it my thing, like, oh, I'm gonna leave the doors unlocked, but sometimes, you know, my finger would get close to the lock button. Oh, could it be time to lock the door? And then the one day I was pulling out of my parking lot, and I realized that as soon as I put my car into gear, all the doors locked. And so all that fear, all that anxiety was all for nothing, because the doors were locked already. I didn't have to put my finger on the thing to lock it. So I thought of all those moments of anxiety, all that fear for nothing, all that energy for nothing. And I keep coming back to that feeling whenever I have a little bit of fear creeps up. It just helps me realize that it's not worth it. At least not for me. Of course, I don't want to deprive anyone of your experience if you want to experience that, but it was just so liberating to have that experience, and now to be able to share that with you, because that's like how life is. We are spiritual beings, we are eternal, and really nothing could ever hurt us. And because we are everything, nothing can steal from us. We can never lose anything if we think of it from a higher level, or a more expanded level, I could say. So yeah, I just wanted to start this series off like this, in speaking of the intention, which is to let go of this victim mode. Because if one is in victim mode, as we talked about earlier, you're in fear, and anyone who is in fear in any form is in victim mode. Fear and victim, you can think of it as the same thing. So what we're doing is we're releasing these false programs, I call them, because I just felt like calling it like that, because of course everything is an illusion, but everything is an illusion, but the fear is an illusion that is, let's just say, contracting, is not really not serving us. And I kind of say that lightly, because maybe it is serving you now. You know, for the first part of my life, I had so many experiences that if I was living in love, I would have never attracted all these challenges that made me who I am today. So there's nothing wrong with any of it. It's just you get to a certain point, and I feel these videos are aimed at the people who are at the point where I was just recently ago, or where I am right now. And you've come to that point where you realize, wait a minute, so there's got to be a better way. And you start noticing things and you think, maybe hear a story about different people. And so yeah, this is what the series is about, is releasing the false program, so releasing the victim mode, so that we can be our true self, which is the creator of our own reality. And I'm going to keep that really simple, just reminding you every time and every video that as we release the victim mentality, we step into our creator mentality, but I'd call it a heart set, because you'll realize as you step into this creator way of being, it's more centered around the heart rather than the head. The victim is always in the head. That's where all these stories and catastrophic thinking comes from. But when you come into creator, you live from the heart. Of course, the mind can be used for beautiful things then, but you're really living from the heart at that point. So yeah, I am very excited to share all these limited beliefs that I could think of. You know, if one comes to mind, definitely feel free to let me know, and I will do my best to include it. I always do these talking intuitively, so it's just gonna flow like that. And yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for checking this out. And yeah, the last thing I'll just leave you with is that I'm thankful for you being here, and that if I can do it, you can do it. And many before me have done this, many. So trust that you can, and you will. And yeah, I love you very much. Wishing you a great day, and talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.